Hey, love, I am so excited for you to be here for Module 1 today. We have a lot of shadow work, of clarity work going on, and with saying that, shadow work does not have to be that draining, overtaking thing that you take on for weeks and you feel bad for weeks. That's not what we do here. What I want you to become aware of, what I want to invite you into, is a getting clarity on what's holding you back. Because believe it or not, most of these are unconscious. And even though you're in there, which means you have somewhat a feeling that there is something hindering you from being authentically yourself, most likely these programs are running still very deep in the subconscious mind. And you might be not aware of most of them. Regardless of how much work you have done or not done, it's not about like, how far am I on this journey? These things peel off in layers, and only when you're ready, you're able to hear the next insight, the next sign, the next hint that the universe wants to give you. So this is not a competition between anyone, and this is also not a competition between you and you. What this is a gentle looking into your conditioning, the way you have formed beliefs, so that you can stay as safe as you just possibly can. Your body, your nervous system, your mind, your belief system has done an amazing job to keep you safe and bring you through life until now, and that is to be honored, in my opinion. So again, the shadow work here is nothing bad, nothing spooky. It might very well be a moment of aha. And from there on, you cannot unknow, is what one of my mentors always say. Even though it's a conscious knowledge at first, this will trickle into your body. And we do have two very powerful energy works to really bring this awareness that we're gaining in a second into your body. So let's begin. This might be a slightly longer one than the other modules, but bear with me. It's the beginning. We're laying a base, a foundation for you to explore your own visibility and authenticity, and that takes some explanation. So let's dive into the visibility blocks. First of all, I have listed here some, not all, by no means all, but some of the common visibility blocks that I have seen in myself over studying myself for the last 20 or whatever years, and also seen in a lot of my clients. Not all to the same extent. You don't have to have all, but if you read through them, and we briefly go through them right now, you might feel a tingling or a leaning forward, or however your body wants to communicate with you, like, okay, that's a thing. So the fear of judgment, for example. I know so many people who have this feeling like, oh, what if I say something wrong? What if I do something wrong? What do they think about me? Things like this is a classical one that we have been raised with, most of us. The perfectionism, the way, the feeling to needing to be perfect, to be accepted. It has to do with control. The moment we are perfect, we are more safe because we're more in control of what the environment responds to us, to our actions, to our behaviors, to our looks, whatever. People pleasing. Oh my God. The ability to do everything for everyone so that the outer harmony is kept. But on what expense? What is the price for you to keep the outer harmony? Most likely it's inner disharmony. That's something that I've been working through for such a long time, and still sometimes it shows up since I'm like, okay, here is another area. So people pleasing is a big one. Most likely if you hear, something to explore. There is the very famous imposter syndrome. I won't talk so much about that. I guess you all know how it feels like to feel like you're not good enough, or you're a fraud, or you need to learn something more before you can start speaking about that, or before you can start acting like that person. The self-doubts, this feeling of constantly being your own inner worst critic. No more explanation than that. Interesting, I think, is undervaluing achievements. This also goes hand in hand with how you receive compliments. Most likely you do a lot of work, and this ties into, I'm jumping right down to the work overload, the last point. Most likely you do a lot of stuff for your family, your work environment, your friends, whoever you're in contact with, and most likely you are not giving yourself enough attention for what you do. And also, it might be very well that you are not receiving enough attention and gratitude for all that you do. So there is like the overextending to control, to keep the safety, but also the like, oh, it's nothing if you get attention for whatever you did. So this is kind of a downplaying after an overextending. It's an interesting combination. The fear of conflict, very, very close to the fear of judgment. It is for all of us who never learned how to fight, who think like the most tiny conflict is the end of the world, which goes hand in hand to over empathizing, the feeling of like, my God, that other person, how would she feel? How bad would that be for her? And almost slipping into the other person's awareness and feelings and taking that on. And that is always meant very well, but it is an overstepping of a boundary. The belief that vulnerability is weakness. Whenever you open up, there's something bad happening. It could be turned against you. Difficulty setting boundaries. I don't need to say anything about that. The fear of rejection, that's something that I can raise my hand on very much, is going hand in hand with the shame that you would feel if you would be rejected. So these two are very common in most of the clients that I am working with one-on-one. This feeling of I need to do something so perfect, so overextend myself so that I will not be rejected from the tribe. Essentially, this is like, if I'm rejected, that means unsafety, that means death. That means definitely something bad is coming. The caretaker, we've talked a bit about that with like over giving. You are running the family, you are maybe bringing in the money, you are doing all the household stuff, you're taking care of the kids. Is there any part in you that you give you the attention that you give everything else? That's a question to think about. And then again, the work overload, we talked about that. So this is just very briefly, we could talk about each of those for hours. I won't. This is just for you to like kind of get a little bit of a feeling of like, oh, that's something that I'm feeling called out with lovingly, so that you become more aware. And that is not something that you go through once and you say like, okay, check, 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 well done. This for you is a page that you can always come back if you feel like, oh, there's inauthenticity coming up. I don't know what it is, but I'm just not acting like myself, or why have I said yes to this? Then you can like kind of go back to this as a reference and say like, here's something that is lighting up. Here is something that I am gently invited by the universe to look at again. The root fear of all these is not feeling safe. It's you feeling, if you would show up authentically, that would mean something bad. That would mean being expelled from the tribe, not being loved, being yelled at, being whatever. It's a feeling of, I'm not safe if I'm me. This like free to be me, it's not there. And that's why you think you need to take on another thing or wear another mask so that you can prevent at all costs that this root fear is playing out. Okay, that's a big one. Take a deep sigh and shake it out. Shake your fingers, shake your arms, shake your whole body if you want. Let's come back into grounding. And we're talking about an overactive mind now. We have done a lot of mind work by now. And this needs to be released. Let's just take another few breaths in and out, in through the mouth. Let's take another few breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Until you feel your shoulders relax, your system relax, your whole body relax a bit, so that we can go into, how can we fix that? How can we, now that we are aware a little bit more about what happened, how can we go into shifting? There are two steps to this that I want to talk about specifically. And for me, it's very important to emphasize it's about both. It's not about one. Not one is the solution. It's both, because we need to, I really say need in this moment, we really need to bring together the mind, which is overactive, running with everything that we've just talked about, together with your body, your nervous system, your subconscious, the way you feel in every second when you are not you, when you feel unsafe to be yourself. So it is about the merging of the mind and the body. We cannot only do somatic, we cannot only do mindset shifts. We need to combine them both. We are here in a physical world experiencing all of the physical sensations, all of the mental and emotional sensation. And it's about inviting them all to the table so that we can lovingly work through whatever is holding us back from actually being ourselves. So within the next slides, we're doing two different things. We are talking a little bit about reflection prompts for each of them, which is like nourishing the mind, helping you to go more deep into the wounds that you have felt are coming up for you right now. At another point, it could be another one, but right now. And then we go into energy work to clear those. Okay. So no worries. This is a list for you. You're getting this all as a prompt down below as a downloadable PDF. We're not working through all of these, but I want you to have a briefly look at them and pick out one that is coming up for you the most strong right now. And that's what we're working through together. So on this and the next slide, I have listed for all of these different visibility blocks that we've just talked about. And again, these are by no means complete. These are just very prominent visibility blocks, paradigms, thought patterns that I have found to be active in my world, within my clients, within myself. So this is for you to get clear on one for right now. And then whenever you feel that there is another one coming up, now that you have kind of like a little bit of an idea about what they are and how they could show up, then you can go back to this and you can work through them with the modalities that I'm showing you in a second. But these are just for you so that you have an idea, a starting point, kind of like the first nudge to take out a piece of pen and paper or speak into your phone, what I love doing, like vocal journaling, and answer these questions. And then you go on from there. There will be more things coming up for you. So this is just like a little initiation for you to start with. So that's one of the two. Here's the rest. Take as much time as you need with these. Pause to see which one is coming up. And then we go through the next two energy exercises to clear it. I will, for purposes of demonstration right now, take the fear of rejection, because like I said, that is something that has been so active within myself for, I don't know, forever. And I think it's a very classical one. So here, the fear of rejection, you have these two prompts to start with to see like, oh, where does it come up when you don't have any idea of like, what is it feeling like? Where does it come in? Not initially, like where does it come from, but how does it show up? How does it make itself known within me that I have this fear of rejection active within me? So you can ask yourself, what is the last time that you didn't put yourself out there because you worried that you would be ignored, turned down, laughed at, judged, whatever? And then how does the possibility of no or not enough compare to the cost of not even trying? What is your price? What price do you pay when you try to control to not be rejected by not even showing up? Okay, ask yourself that. Take a moment of pause if you need to. You don't have to write anything down. This is, if you like, if you're one of the more tactile persons, write it down. Otherwise, take out your phone, record a voice note, start becoming aware of this. And then we go into the clearing, which you can do whenever you feel like it. This is no one time and then done thing. This is like breathing, like eating. Whenever you feel this is coming up, do the exercise again. Both of them take about a minute, the most. So there is nothing that you can argue with of not having enough time or that's not the right moment. No, if it comes up and you're not driving, take a second for yourself and work through them. You will thank me later for being so persistent on this. So the first exercise that I want to share with you is called the Oh My God points. I've learned that from one of my first energy teachers, Donna Eden, and it's a miraculous thing. So a short energetic medicine background on this. We're working a lot with meridians and neurovascular points in here. And this exercise essentially is a wonderful way to like tangibly use the electromagnetic energy of your hands to calm down specific points on your forehead that help you to relax, bring back the blood into your head. Because if you are in fear, if you are in fight or flight, if you're in stress mode, your blood is not up here, it's in your legs because your body thinks it needs to run away. Even though it's a fear of rejection is nothing tangible. It's not the saber-toothed tiger or no car that you need to run away from because you're in the middle of the street and there's one coming. The bodily reaction is the same as if there would be a physical threat, but we are talking about an emotional or a mental threat at the moment. Unfortunately, the body has no clue of this. So it's playing out the physical threat scenario all the time. Your blood is definitely not up here. So clear decisions or a logical work through of what is happening right now is not possible. And with this exercise, you can get back your clarity of thought. It's also very good for grounding. And the combination of being clear and being grounded is a perfect one for working through anything from a place of centeredness, of trust, of I can hold this. I'm actually strong enough and I'm supported. And I know that everything's going to be good. So enough of the pre-talk. What you do, you don't need to think positive. You don't need to like, oh, well, I can work through it. Yes, you can. But what often happens if you're in this fear scenario, if you are thinking about the fear of being rejected, maybe you want to talk with your partner about something that is really dear to your heart and you feel he wouldn't take it well, or he would like laugh at you and say like, what's that stupid idea of like doing that business? Or what, you want to go to holiday to wherever and it's costing 3x of what we can afford, whatever it is. Take one scenario that comes to your mind right now and you think about it. On this exercise, we think about what actually is the uncomfortable, but only for a minute. This is nothing that you dwell in forever and it gets bigger and bigger and your body gets to more fight or flight. No, we are taking our hands, rubbing them together to activate the energy and also create some warmth. And then you place them on your forehead to take them over these neurovascular points that I've briefly talked about before, which are located here on this, like some of us have like a little, like, how to say that, it's a little bit broader on here over the eyebrows. That's where the neurovascular points are. So you take both of your hand and you put them on your forehead. You can put them like this, or you can also use just one hand. That's why it's called the Oh My God points. It's like, oh my God, if something happens, we do that because our body is so wise and it already knows what I'm just now telling you. So however you do it, put one or two of your hands on your forehead so that the region above your eyebrows is covered. And then you stay here. You breathe, relaxed, and you think about whatever comes up regarding your visibility block. In my case, the fear of rejection. How does it feel if I'm talking to my husband and I want to go on this very expensive trip, but we don't have any money? Or I want to tell him about that new business idea that I have that is totally out of every logical reach. How does it feel? The contraction. Let that play in your head, the scenario. Let it just play in your head, and you hold these points. Don't forget to breathe in your own pattern. And then some point can be now, can be in a few seconds. Stay here as long as you need, but at some point you will feel that your body softens a little bit. Maybe your shoulders drop, maybe you feel like, oh, I can take the hands off or not. Let them there as long as you want to. I'm just taking them off so that it's easier for me to speak to you. But let them stay there until your body softens enough so that you feel safe, and or until your mind wanders to a very different scenario when you're not thinking about your husband and whatever you want to tell him, but about the flowers in your room that need more water, or when you have to pick up your kid today. That's a sign that your body has shifted to another frequency and that thought is no longer active. That's good. It's amazing. You're doing an amazing work, even though it's just putting on your fingers on your forehead. What you just did is told your body to rewire that old belief, told your body that thinking about this, even just thinking about this, is safe. And the more often you do that, the more easy it will be for your body to come to a state of, oh, that's actually not that threatening. This fear of rejection actually is not that much of a thing anymore. Sorry. So the more you do that, the more you train yourself for a new default level when it comes to this. You can use this on all stressors that you have, not just for the visibility thing. This is a wonderful exercise for every stress you have. But for now, for this program, we're using it for that. Okay, a deep breath again. Shake it in and out. I know it's already a lot, but I felt called to share another exercise with you because when I've learned it, I was so blown away, and I feel it's fitting in very good. What I want to say is you don't have to do both of them. I invite you to do one because, as I said, it's not just the mind work. It's important to bring that into the body as well and really integrate and embody the wisdom and really tell our body that it's safe. So you can either do the oh my God points or the method that I'm showing you in a second. You don't have to do both. Take what fits better for the moment or generally for you. And as always, leave the rest behind. You do you. This is my invitation for you to do it the way that I have learned it most powerfully. But you tweak it so that it fits you. With that being said, I want to introduce to you the body aware method, which, as I said, has blown me away when I've learned it. Actually, when I was working on my own visibility stuff early on. And there are some similarities to the oh my God points. What we do here is kind of a combination of clarity and inner child work because we are giving ourselves what we're actually craving for in that moment. So again, we're thinking about something that is feeling uncomfortable. Let's say you want to talk with your partner about that super expensive holiday again. That's the first point. You think about what you want to do that is out of your normal reach, that threatens your current visibility paradigm, that is like out of your normal box. And then you become aware of what comes up in my body. So you're thinking about talking to your husband about that super expensive holiday that you want to take, even though there is no money for it. What comes up in your body? Is there a closing in the chest? Is there a really heavy knot in your stomach? Is there a raising of the shoulders, a tension, a kind of like defense that you unconsciously go into? Where do you feel this in your body? Really take a second to become aware of this. And when you have found something, and there is no right or wrong, it could feel for you like whatever. It could be dizziness in the head, or like the feeling of, I cannot even speak. I had that. I always felt like this for most of my life. So that was my like, it's not so important. Let's just not talk about it. Kind of that. Whatever it is for you. When you have kind of identified what comes up, ask yourself, what does your body want in that moment? What do you actually need? Do you need a hug? Do you need to hear the words, it's safe, everything's fine? Do you need someone who holds your hand? Do you need to lean back and relax? Do you need a moment of breath work? Do you need shake it out? Whatever it is there something that your body is craving for? Yes, there is. What is it? And then gift yourself exactly that. Hug yourself. Tell yourself that you're safe. Replay in your head every moment where your husband supported you. Replay a scenario that someone else supported you. The universe supported you. Whatever you need, gift yourself exactly that. It's a bit like in inner child work, where we are telling ourselves, our younger version of ourselves, what we needed to hear. Tell yourself that. Give yourself that. You have the power with your mind to create any scenario that you want. So when you don't get what you want to have from another person, that's a sign for you to seek it within yourself. Give yourself the attention. Tell yourself that it's possible for you to do that vacation, that you will find the money, that this is easy for you to achieve, that you, of course, will support yourself. Give yourself everything that you would have wanted or wished from your partner or whatever else scenario is playing around. And again, do this whenever you feel like blocked, whenever you feel the tension is coming up. Do this shortly before you're having the actual talk. And when it comes to communication, just as a side note, there are ways to energetically direct conversations without being manipulative that you can use that are in my other program, Tools of Transformation. So there is stuff that you can do. Reach out to me if you want to learn about that. But for the moment, before you do go into a conversation, do this body aware method or do the Oh My God points so that you go in with a frequency of being you, being held, being safe, and a general trust in the universe. Amazing. We did amazing. I thank you so much for joining on Module 1. We will now integrate this until Module 2. It's about 14 days until I release it, because this is not a rush. We're not like going through this as fast as we can. I know it sometimes feels like we want to, but this is something that you want to integrate in your life. Take one of these blocks, or maybe two. Please don't take all of them. Give yourself some gentleness and slowness with this. Take one or two of these blocks and work through them within the next week and see when they come up, how they show up, how it feels to do these exercises, what level of safety you're creating, or where there's still kind of some hiccups. Explore a bit, play around. Be light and gentle with this as much as you can. And then within the next week's group call, we can talk about everything that came up and work through that. It's about integration, and that's a wonderful part. So I wish you a wonderful week. I can't wait to hear how you're doing, how this lands for you. And whenever questions come up, please reach out. I love you.